just been chilling with my dad, and I saw this movie. I was like scrolling through movies on like our movie channels and shit like that, and I saw this movie. And on Xfinity, if they got it in their fucking queue of shit, if it's like on a channel randomly, you can just like, hey, I'm gonna pick that for later and just restart it whenever. This movie wasn't that, so I'm like, yo, I can DVR this shit. Who remembers DVRing? I never did that, and I only started doing that now. So I DVR'd this movie for him, so whenever he got home, we could watch it together. And he passes out like not even halfway through it because he's an old man. That's what he does. But it was a movie. I first saw it when I was pretty young. I think I was like in middle school. And it was like one of those early 2000s, like goofy ass comedies. It's called Saving Silverman. It's starring Jason Biggs, which you'll never hear that. Starring Jason Biggs. After Orange is the New Black, what did he even do? He got cucked by Donna, and that was just about it. He was like, I made my check, I'm out. But it's Jason Biggs, Amanda Peet, who you never seen anything anymore. She was amazing in that movie. She is hilarious. Steve Zahn and Jack Black. I love me a young Jack Black. I love any Jack Black. Steve Zahn in a lot of random movies, who I just think he's hilarious. You never seen Strange Wilderness? It's ridiculous, and I love it. But like, it's weird watching the early fucking 2000s movies that you liked when you were a kid and just seeing how they are now. It's a weird fucking concept of a movie. And it's one of those movies I think it holds up for me a lot because I think I saw it when I was young. Like if I saw it now, I'd probably be like, this is okay. But at the same, I don't know, it's pretty good. I don't know, it's pretty stupid. It's ridiculous. It's not even like a cult. I don't even think it's like a cult comedy. I think it's just something that just didn't do amazing. But it's an alright movie. And the concept of it is ridiculous. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but I'm going to talk about this movie for a minute. Because like, it was just some things in it. Like I said, when you watch old movies and you're just flabbergasted about how the fuck did that get made, it's Jason Biggs, Steve Zahn, Jack Black, best friends. They're super into Neil Diamond. Random as fuck. I love that. And they're best friends, been best friends since they were children. They play Neil Diamond covers out in the street just for fun. That's what they do. Jason Biggs, guess what he plays? He's the main guy who can't find nobody to love him. I can relate to that mad heavy boss. And he meets Amanda Peet. She's basically just takes over his life and is just like, she doesn't believe in premarital sex, so like she makes him go down on her, and like he's like a little, he can't really imply, he's trying to imply like, oh, okay, so like that was good, I did that for you, can you do it for me? She's like, oh my god, I'm so selfish. Throws him a nudie mag and some lotion. She's like, all right, have fun, have a good night. Turns out the lights. I'm like, hilarious. And so basically it's like just the core of it is just, all right, our friend got a girlfriend, she doesn't like us, stay away from him. We got to get our friend back. These lunatics are like, yo, let's kidnap this bitch. And I'm just like, the idea of it is amazing to me. Like, it's the simple, like, oh, man, like, our friend's got a new girlfriend. She doesn't like us, so we can't ever see him. So they're like, let's kidnap her and then hook him up with his childhood love from high school. There's just the whole, like, the idea, like, just the whole thing around it. They break into a woman's house while she's sleeping. Fucking Steve Zahn's in fatigues, and he's got camo on, dressed like a Green Beret. Jack Black just wearing, like, the fucking, what are they called? The leggings, the stockings, just covering his face. They break into this woman's house. Steve Zahn goes upstairs. Jack Black's downstairs. They're looking around. They got walkie-talkies. Jack Black's eating food because he's fat. That's funny. And then, like, he's, like, Steve Zahn's, like, a pest control guy, so he's got comes in there with a tranquilizer gun. Just the setting. Yo, our friend's girlfriend doesn't like us. Is gonna marry him. It's never gonna let us see him again. Let's break into her house, tranquilize her, and kidnap her and lock her in the basement. Could you make that today? Could you do that today? That would be great. I would love to watch that movie. They already made it though. And just like that, just that idea. The whole set. This dude who broke into this woman's house is hungry, goes into the fridge and is eating spaghetti with leggings halfway around his face while his friend is upstairs about to trank a bitch and kidnap her. All in the sake of friendship. I don't understand toxic masculinity when dudes' friendships are, we are like, me and my friends are mad gay for each other. Y'all just talking to the wrong dudes. That motherfuckers don't have friends. But dog, she wakes up as Steve Zahn's about to trank her. Tranks his own leg. Classic stupid shit. She beats the living shit out of them. He gets out a cattle prod as she's drowning Jack Black in the toilet. All right. Zaps her. She's touching Jack Black. He's in the toilet, so, he gets fucking electrocuted too. That's just how that works, because, science. And then, directed by Dennis Dugan. Who the fuck is he? Oh, wow. He directed Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. Okay, Grown Ups. And Jack and Jill, Grown Ups too. Yeah. This guy started out hot. Had a weird middle with Saving Silverman. Then Don't Mess with the Zohan. It's great. I don't care. I love that movie. And then Grown Ups. And then Jack and Jill. Yeah, this guy fell off mad hard. Mad hard. But anyways. So, what is it? And then as they throw her, they carry this woman over their shoulders, throw her in the back of her own car and drive off. And of course, comedy, because comedy movies, as they're driving away, Jason Biggs pops up at around the same time. Just as they're leaving, he shows up. He's on a fucking moped, because why not? They leave a whole ass note just saying, hey, bro, it's over. I don't love you anymore. I'll never see you again. And they just lock her. They chain her to a car engine in her nightgown. They're just carrying a body. There's at one point later on in the movie where she escapes, kicks their asses again, throws them out of a 2-story window. This chick is amazing. She is amazing. And then she's about to run to the police station. He tranks her, covers her with a blanket. Because remember, he's a pest control dude, so he has this for some reason. 2 cops walk out and they're like, what are you doing? Oh man, I just got one of them zombie deers. So I'm just going to carry it off. And they're just like, all right, good. Keep up the good work. Later, dude. That was a whole ass woman kidnapped and tranquilized. The concept of that shit, like I said, you definitely could not make this today. I think if the genders were reversed, that'd be even more hilarious. You could probably do that. Saving Silverman remake, all women. I'd support the fuck out of that. No, and then just the random little things in it. Like I said, they were all high school friends. And that amazing actor from was it Full Metal Jacket, the Texas Chainsaw reboot, Arlie Ermy. That's fucking hard. I can't say that. I can't speak English. Is their coach. He's in jail because he had got mad at a play and threw a spear. I don't know. It's football. It is a thing. Counts the downs or whatever, and he just throws it, kills a referee. He's in jail. They're visiting him in jail for advice. Steve Zahn and Jack Black. They can't get Darren, who's Jason Biggs, to move on and hook up with the new girl. And he was like, he's just basically like, you gotta kill her. You gotta kill her. So they're trying to figure out how to kill her, which I love. I like how I'm skipping around a lot, but it's like before that, because like they're talking to Jason Biggs, and they're like, bro, you gotta move on. That bitch left you. Blah 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 blah. I'm saying bitch a lot, and I apologize, but like that bitch left you. You gotta move on. And he's just like, as long as this woman is alive, I will continue loving her, and I will wait for her to come back. And they're like, all right. So they get the idea. Like I said, you can't make I don't think you can make this because the shit they do and say is ridiculous. Like I know I'm not. I don't think I'm saying this properly. It's my first solo podcast. This is the first time like my inner thoughts become my outer thoughts. I don't really know how to express that right now. It's why I got to do therapy. But I'll get to that later. Their idea to get a friend back is to kidnap their girlfriend and hold her hostage. They didn't think beyond that. So eventually she finds out who they are, and that's when they get the idea. They're like, oh, we got to kill her. But before that, they were like, oh, Jason Biggs says he's going to love her as long as she's alive. So they go to a grave. They go to a random grave, dig up some random woman, and like, bro, like I said, you can't. It's not the idea that they're stealing a body, but it's like what Jack Black says when he finally digs her up, and he's like, whoa, dude. Steve's like, what? This dead chick is totally stacked. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I mean, like, Steve Zahn sells it with, like, of course, he's reacting like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, you know, so I think that makes it better. They they steal a body, throw her into Amanda Pete's car, the girlfriend's car, are pushing it off a mountain while a Neil Diamond song is playing, and it falls off the mountain and it blows up. And it's like early 2000s, so like the very next day on the news, excuse me, Jason Biggs is watching the news, and they're like, oh, the body of Judith so and so has been found burned beyond recognition because convenience. And oh my god, his acting is amazing. The way he's trying to cry. Burned beyond recognition. Also, in other news, a body of another young woman has been found dug up from her grave. The police have no suspects, but have arrested 3 Cuban nationals. And I'm just like, you can't make this today. You just can't. Can you? I think you can. But you know how other people are. They kidnap a woman, drug her with animal tranquilizer, and lock her in a basement, dig up a body, put it in a car, throw it off a mountain. It blows up. They successfully fake a woman's death. And they're trying to get Jason Biggs' childhood love that he never got around to asking out, all that dumb nonsense. Because she left to the circus, a whole other bit I can't get into. If you should totally watch the movie, get really drunk. What I like about it is it's PG-13, and it's not one of those movies that's like bogged down by it, because it doesn't need like a lot of F-bombs. You don't, like, in PG-13s you get like one F-bomb, but like they don't, like, they don't rely on vulgarity. It's more of just like the ridiculousness of like their situations and what they're doing and blah blah blah, which is like, yeah, a 13-year-old back in like fucking, what year did this come out? 2001. Jesus Christ. What month in 2001? Let's see. February. Man. February 2001. February 9th. This is a Valentine's Day movie. Y'all think y'all clever. On a budget of $22 million, it made $26 million. So it bombed. 90 minutes. Ugh, movies aren't an hour and a half anymore. And that fucking frustrates me. Why does every Fast and Furious have to be 3 hours long? But so Judith finds out who they are, the girlfriend. And like they get the military guy, Arlie Army. He's just like, yo, you gotta kill her. Got to do it. And so they try to do it. They can't. So they just keep hanging out with her for a little bit. Jack Black, like, he's the one who, like, has to give her, like, new clothes and, like, feeds her and stuff like that. So weird. She's on. Oh, so weird. I love it. But she's a therapist, and one of the probably the highlight of the movie is when she, like, gets Jack Black to realize he was gay, or he's gay in the movie, and just him realizing it, and just the whole act out of him, like, I always knew I was different, and he just starts crying. It was amazing. And then, like, in the end, he ends up marrying the coach, Arlie Ermy, and I'm like, that's amazing. True love. They somehow kidnap Neil Diamond, gets him to play music while they interrupt Jason Biggs' wedding at the end. Everyone gets together with someone in the end. But, like, just the idea. They kidnapped a woman, locked her in a fucking basement, drugged her, faked her death by stealing the body of another person. All while they're getting this other girl who is becoming a nun, but hasn't taken, like, her final vows for it yet, corrupting her to get with Jason Biggs. They're about to hook up. The other girlfriend comes back in. It's like, what the fuck is this? The all is lost moment. So they're in jail. Steve Zahn and Jack Black, obviously, for the litany of crimes they've committed in the name of friendship, which I will stand by. I respect that. You can't really stand by that. But it's in the name of friendship. That's beautiful. And somehow the coach gets out of jail. And it's one of the dumbest jokes ever. They call him to bail him out. It's like, hey, can you pay our bail? And he's like, no way. And he's like, it's a dumb gay joke. But, like, he's like, come on. Like, Steve Zahn's like, come on, man. They're making us, he's like lying. He's like, they're making us their girlfriends in here. And he's just like, what? They're making you wear dresses? I don't know why. That line always gets me. What? They're making you wear dresses? So he steals Steve Zahn's pest van, backs up into the jail, breaks down the wall, breaks them out. Somehow in the midst of all that, they kidnap Neil Diamond. And Neil Diamond's like, yo, this is all in the name of love. I'm fucking down. Ride or die, Neil Diamond. My man. On a budget of $22 million, they only made $26. How much was it to get Neil Diamond in this fucking movie? And $2001? Pre-9/11 cinematography, Arthur Albert. What have you done? Nothing good. He did the cinematography for Happy Gilmore. Good for him. You know what? People getting work. Doing a lot more than I could ever do. But, so yeah, they, kidnap Neil Diamond. This is a ridiculous scene where they're in traffic. The stupid coach thinks they're being followed, pulls out like a MAC-10, like that little submachine gun, just jumps out of the van, gets hit by a car. You don't see him till like the end at some point. They stop the wedding. Neil Diamond's playing guitar. The high school love just starts singing Neil Diamond songs, and Jason Biggs is like, yes, she's right. I never saw it that way. You're right. You just sang Neil Diamond. That makes a lot of sense. And then, but there's like this line they keep throwing in of like, there's your one and only someone, your one and only special someone. And he's like, I'm sorry, Judith, but this chick's my one and only someone. And she's like crying, when's my one and only someone? And then Steve Zahn comes out and starts singing Neil Diamond. He's like, it worked for this chick. Let me see if it works. So she's like, starts singing it to Judith, Jason Biggs' chick he literally just dumped while he's making out with his new girl. She starts running towards him. It looks all passionate. Just decks him in the face. Just starts beating his ass. Like I said, I love this woman. She is amazing. Knocks out one of his teeth. He punches her back, knocks out one of her teeth, and then they just start making out, and then they fall in love. Bro, Neil Diamond. Hello, my friend. Hello. Like, what the fuck? And then Jack Black comes out of nowhere holding the coach, like, cradling him in his arms. They just walk in on this crazy wedding. Everyone's making out. And the coach is like, when you gonna get hit? She's like, I don't know, man. I'm gay. And he's like, oh, man, me too. Really? And then they all get married. And Neil Diamond's playing for them. I think that's a great movie. How could I make that movie? Like, bro, me and my boys, if you made it today, an all-female reboot of this, who's their Neil Diamond? Would they get Lizzo? I don't know. I don't know pop artists. I'm not really good with pop culture. Let's get Alanis Morissette. She played God once. Alanis? How do you say that? Anyways, let's get her. You can still use Jason Biggs. The man needs work. I'm retarded. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So, it's a great movie about kidnapping people. My dad fell asleep halfway through it. I'm like, I recorded this for you. I mean, I showed him the movie like many years ago. We love watching these goofy movies together. It's one of our favorite things to do is to watch movies, and he's just asleep during it. And I'm just chain smoking, watching this nonsense, reminiscing about my childhood, just realizing just the context of what's. I know I keep repeating it. It probably doesn't get any funnier. Just the idea to put on fatigues and camo and kidnap a whole ass woman with a tranquilizer gun. Pitch that to an executive today. And he's like, do you not want me to work in this business anymore? Probably hits too close to home for him. Hollywood elites. I'm going to light another cigarette.